What's up, Jessica Squad? Thanks a lot for watching this video. And if you're new to our channel, please subscribe. So I saw this adorable Polly Pocket Pop at GameStop and I had an idea to get it. And I want to make it so you can open it and there's a little world inside like the real Polly Pockets. Actually, when I was there, I asked them if it opened and they said it didn't open. And you could feel that it's just hollow. It's just like a little statue and it doesn't open up at all. So I have this other little Polly Pocket that I actually saw on sale at Target. I'm going to open it up. We're going to take it apart so that we can put it inside of the pop figure. So this is going to go right in there. It might be hard, but I'm going to give it a try. So this is how it looks. I think it's like a little deer. And the antlers make it look like an angry deer, like it's giving it a little frown. And there's some little accessories that come with it. There's a little raccoon with a real hair tail, and you got a little tiny comb and a deer. Let me pop this open and see what it looks like. It's hard to open, but I have a butter knife here. So it looks like it has a little seesaw. So, and here's the little deer and the raccoon on each side of the seesaw. And over here it has a little secret hideout. Lift up the yellow flap. And there's a little tree stump that has a hole, and you could put it right in the hole underneath of the raccoon. Just stick it under. And now I need to open up this hollow figure. I'm going to use a hot knife. I have to heat up my knife for a while to get it really, really hot. Be really careful. It should only be done by a grown-up. So my plan is to use this really hot knife to go along the seams and carefully pry this open. It's really tough and it's really like almost all glued together so good that there's no crack for me to get it open by hand. I have to really separate this fused plastic together. The good thing about this pop figure being hollow is that once I get a little bit of leadway with the hot knife in there, I can put in some other knives to pry this open. This way I don't have to use the hot knife all around because the fumes of melting plastic is not healthy. So I finally got that Polly Pocket pop open and that took almost 12 minutes. I sped up the video to save some time so the video wouldn't be boring. Now I'm going to take apart this tiny Polly Pocket and try to see how I can arrange this so it will fit perfectly inside of the pop figure. So I have these wire cutters. They come in handy. I used them a long time ago when I had a chicken. I had to build her a cage and they're very strong. I think they can even cut through bone if they had to. So I'm going to use these to cut away the outside of the Polly Pocket. This way I can get this to fit right inside of the pop figure. And I'm going to cut out any little things that are blocking that Polly Pocket from fitting inside out of the pop figure too. And this took a long time because the Polly Pocket, believe it or not, is built so well. It was really hard to get everything out of it. So during this part, it's really important to keep putting the Polly Pocket mini world inside of the pop figure and then try to close up the pop figure to make sure that it's able to close up good and it's not still wide open because something is blocking it. So I'm going to be taking apart this little Polly Pocket little mini world. Almost all of the outside plastic has to go. So now that I cut away a lot of the plastic, it's time to line it up again, and I can see that there's still going to be a big space where the figure won't close all the way. It's because the seesaw is pressed up against that little hideaway part with the little door, and that's what's making it too thick to fit inside of the pop figure. So I'm going to have to cut away more of that outside plastic. By the way, the Polly Pocket Company sure does a good job at making sure everything's stuck inside of the little container because you can't just pop the items out. It's really, really secure in there. That's why I have to use these wire cutters. So I have this little sander. I'm going to sand down some of the little rough edges. This way it will be more smooth and I can fit everything inside of this pop figure perfectly. I'm going to check it again and the little Polly Pocket world fits perfectly now inside of the pop. So I have some clay. I'm going to put that in there first. This way I can fuse the two parts together. And I'm also going to use a little water to smooth out some of the edges. My plan after this part is to let the clay dry and then I'm going to paint it. This way it won't look so hideous. By the way, this is an air dry clay, so it should dry pretty fast, especially it's very hot over here today. I'll put it in a sunny window and probably in an hour or two I'll be able to start painting it. So now that one side is done, I'm going to use some of the art from the packaging of the Polly Pocket world. I'm going to place it inside really good and I'll hot glue the other side into that part. I'm going to use some clay around the border and that will be how the other side looks. And next I have to use a burning hot nail so that I can make a hole through this Polly Pocket pop. This way I can put in a little jump loop. I think that's what you call it, like a little loop, so that it will be like a hinge. This way this Polly Pocket pop figure can open and close. This was actually pretty hard. I have to be very careful I don't burn myself. And I have this spring and it's just wide enough and it's perfect. So I'm cutting that down to size and I have to squeeze it together. This way the rings will be perfectly closed and I can open and close this pop figure. That's how it's looking so far. I think it's coming out good. And now comes the fun part. Time to paint it. I also wanted to try and take Polly out of this pop figure's hand, but the hand and the Polly Pocket part, that little doll is like it's all fused together because it was part of a mold that made that shape, and it's almost impossible to take her out of the hand because it will leave a hole in the hand, and plus the Polly doesn't even really have legs. She'll just look like a little head on top of a stick. So this is how it's looking, and I'm going to add a couple decorations. I have this little sequin strip here. I'm going to put that around, and my video got cut off, but I have a few little decorative diamonds I'm going to put in there. So now that the paint's all dry, I'm going to put this clear nail polish over it. This way it will have a little shine. It won't be so matte and easy to scratch off. I also cleaned up the outside edges of the pop figure to take away any excess paint. And now I'm just going to put the little toys inside, the raccoon. I also have this hippo from a different Polly Pocket. And that's them in the little seesaw. I'm going to put the little deer inside of the little hideaway and put the little raccoon on the tree stump there, and I'll put the little hippo on top of that seesaw, and I'll close this up. So I hope you liked how this came out. Now it's time to go ahead and put my brand new Polly Pocket pop figure away with my other pop figures that I have in the collection. I think I have about 40 so far. Thanks for watching again, and please give a thumbs up if you like this video.